Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha and Butler are all here, and we're just hanging out.
So we have a guest on the line that I kind of live vicariously through because she goes on these adventures, and then it's the life. It's like my second fantasy life.
Yeah,
that
but
I would want if I didn't have all of this. Chains.
I think Savannah.
Wow.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Daniel's going through some stress.
I am. You can tell. I just can't access the words, man. So Jenna Banana over here, my producer,
Hi.
was we were talking a little bit about. You could hear her even when she was like, eh. I don't think it's so much that you live vicariously through our next guest. I think you have almost a strange infatuation and almost an attraction.
Of a crush there.
Yeah, there's a crush and there is some tension, if you will, here on this particular guest who just happens to be a woman. So when I said, "Hey, introduce our next guest," immediately I was like, "Why did you say that? I should have introduced this guest so we could be polite to her and so you wouldn't embarrass me live on the program."
I think what you're feeling there is that we both have adventure spirits that coincide, and in a different parallel universe, we could have been together and adventurers together. And Spider-Verse, like I'd be the pig Spider-Man.
So you're pig
Oh,
Spider-Man.
yeah. Okay.
And she is who?
Yeah.
Spider Gal.
Or she'd be pig Jenna Hirt, because in that universe, everybody's a pig. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, you're not a pig, Jenna.
No, but I'm just saying.
I knew he would do this. I knew he would embarrass me by saying that he wanted you guys fall in love and be pigs together for the rest of your life, whatever this crazy person's talking about.
No, I'm just saying.
So what you're saying is you want to
spirits.
fall in love with Jenna Hirt. You both have the kindred adventurous spirit, as you called it.
Yeah.
Because when I look at you and what I know of you, you are the quintessential adventurous spirit.
Is that there's not big? I can't do it now. I'm limited.
Right.
But I want to be able to do it.
But if you were a pig and Jenna was a pig, you guys would be two adventuring pigs.
Oh no!
out on the town
in a parallel universe.
On the line with us right now is a very good friend of our show. That dare I say, like the official adventurer of our program. It's our very good friend Jenna Hirt, world traveler, skateboard. What do you call it? You're like a skateboard mentor, an icon. You help out people all across the globe and help children, namely women or young girls, learn how to skateboard. So hey, it's good to talk to you, and we've missed you. How you been?
Oh my God, I love the introduction, you guys. I can only hope one day to turn into a pig.
See, I told you. So Jenna,
I can't believe I got the "I told you so" on that.
I know we did check in with you during COVID earlier on, back when the travel restrictions and everything. You couldn't go anywhere, and that was hard on you because you do like to move and go and adventure. So, but now things seem to be opening back up. You could travel at least more than you were 3-4 months ago. So, have you been traveling? How have you been doing?
Oh, man. You know what? First, can I say, Daniel, I just want to say, Daniel, we all missed your mom so much.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Really, I mean, 25 years of just hearing the stories and kind of, in a sense, growing up with these stories.
Yeah.
And, I never got to meet her, but seriously, I mean, I was crushed, absolutely crushed.
Well, I
just wanted to
no, I'm glad. I appreciate that. A lot of people, a lot of listeners, especially those of you like Jenna,
I know,
that are closer to the show. I mean, if there's anybody my mom would have wanted to meet, it's you. She knew who the hell you were and listened to you. So, so the feeling's mutual. As much as you know who she was, she knew who you were because she listened to our program a lot. So thank you so much. But namely, what have you been doing? Because if you're like me, you got to keep moving to keep yourself from being sad. Or you can just fumble and call your coworkers wrong names. It's really up to you.
I mean, I'm not going to say it's lie. It was a tough year. It was a tough few months, But I mean, I've been very, very, very fortunate that I've been able to keep busy. Not with traveling, of course, but just with my business, Tying Tribes, my jewelry. I mean, for 30 years, this is my 30th year hand making and selling my jewelry. And, you know, I'm my anniversary year, 30th year.
That's
in 2020, you know, crazy. And the year that no art shows happened, you know, it's just been a wild. And to switch over from traveling every weekend to art shows and meeting all my thousands of customers that come back and see me, you know, every year and bring back their pieces that I get to visit with, and they get more, and their family and their grandma gets one, and then now their kid gets one. And, you know, I've missed it so much, but I've been so fortunate that for 30 years I have so many loyal customers that have kept me going. And I never wanted to sell online ever because I'm so in person. I never wanted to be like, buy number 1, buy number 2, you know?
Yeah, I think we even said that. I think we even said that if you're going to buy jewelry from Jenna, it's
more of an experience.
It's an experience. You need to meet her and make a friend, and you have to have her like buzz around you like a little jewelry bee.
Totally.
And like, and then and tell you, and then like look at you, and then have a bonding experience.
Yes.
Yeah, I know how it works.
Exactly. Yeah, so it, you know, it was a total switch of, and look, once a hustler, always a hustler, you know? I just had to think back to my roots when I started, and I started an Instagram tying tribes, and I literally, you know what the hardest thing was in the beginning of all this COVID is switching over to the mindset of promoting my jewelry.
Yeah.
And I felt so selfish that I had to focus on making my own money, you know, because it's my only income for 30 years. I don't have art shows to go out and make the money. So I had to focus outside the box and post online, and it's all about making money for my jewelry, and any dollar that comes in is a dollar more than I had, you know, and I felt so selfish, like, because I've always promoted things that I'm trying to do really for other people, you know, trying to raise money for skate parks that we're building, or trying to get boards donated for my Donate for Skates so that I could personally bring these boards to kids in Jordan and Greece and Madagascar and, you know, Tanzania, all these places that I went right before COVID. You know, it's like, so it was hard promoting myself. But I felt very selfish,
But Jenna, you know why
it kept me going.
You know why it worked is because all the people that you follow you on social media and stuff is because you don't normally do it. Yeah. So when you needed to do it, people responded, and it's the exact opposite of what I do. Is you put out the garbage, like, okay, we get it. You're selling your Chinese garbage again with Tom and Dan stamped on it.
Oh, there we go.
Promotion.
The kiss of podcast. They're at it again.
After 10 years of just constant promotion, anything I post means nothing because there's people like, oh, we get it. But for you, because you don't normally do it, the one time because of COVID, you had to.
It's like you with shoes on the news. You know, like Tom wears shoes on the news one time, and people are like, my God, he has feet.
Because and that's probably what happened, Jenna, is like all these people that have been following you for years, like, wanted to support you, and then
really,
Jenna, you told me a stat,
and they are.
You told me a stat that I found to be very, it's really, really cool. Is that the vast majority, when she was doing these type of art shows, the vast majority of the people that would roll through and pick up jewelry, a lot of them were repeat customers of yours and friends that you'd met throughout the 30-year journey, correct?
For sure, yeah. I mean, it's a crazy, loyal, amazing customer base that I have, and collectors. You know, people that when I do travel the world, I mean, of course, I travel because I love traveling, and for the last 4 years, I've incorporated volunteering into my world traveling because of skateboarding, you know. But of course, everybody, you know, travels selfishly. I mean, you could call me selfish because I love helping kids learn how to skate in another country. I mean, I don't know, it makes me feel good, you know?
Yeah.
But, I mean,
that's not my kind of selfish.
I see.
Hey, do whatever to float your boat, man. Not my kind of selfish.
I see what Jenna's saying here, because she feels like it's selfish because she enjoys doing it. So she's like, I'm doing this for myself, but she's helping other people. Right. But I think genuine good people feel that way because they can't. They're like, well, it makes me feel good.
She'd
so
be doing this no matter what.
Yeah,
like this is not a choice for her.
Yeah. But you don't know true selfishness.
Yeah, you don't really get it. You're gonna have to work a long way before you become like us.
You're stepping on the necks of everybody you can just to get that one more dollar.
And it feels
to
good
waste.
too. It feels good.
You don't even need it. You're buying it to waste. You're buying it so you have some boat that's rotting, an expensive marina you never use.
I've gotten to a point now where I don't want for anything, but I will go after that one. You know, if my eye will be on the prize, if I think your eye's on the prize, because I don't want you to have it. You see what I'm saying? So I don't even need it.
Buy them all.
I don't even need it. I'll just go after it just to steal your joy. That's how I do it.
That's true selfishness.
Write that down. Write your next children's book about two selfish young boys that podcast.
Jenna, real quick, I want to kind of feel like...
Well, we're going to talk about her book, too.
Right.
Yes,
you want to make sure that... What, are you going to ask her some question about how you can be naked with her in a tub or ride motorcycles together?
No. And here's the thing. We cut out some time for you, Jenna, so we don't have to rush you off the phone. But give us a little...
He just made that decision because he's in love with you.
Yeah.
Give us a little background because and I think the most of our listening audience, they know Jenna does jewelry, but I don't think they know.
That's a different company. Jenna does jewelry.
Oh, that's not her.
Yeah, that's not her.
It really is.
She's tying tribes.
Get out the pig costume.
Yeah. So you've been doing. You are an entrepreneur at like its truest sense of the word, and the fact that you have been making and selling your own jewelry for how many? For
30.
20?
She just
30,
said 30.
Yeah, 30 years.
Are you listening to her?
Sorry, I forgot the
He
exact.
doesn't listen to the things she says.
He
Just
looks at her.
looks at her. And,
My God,
He's
sir.
not a math guy.
And
no, he's not.
well, and so you've been doing this as your living, and you've been doing great at it.
Yes.
And how'd you even start? Like, what was the first time you made your first piece of jewelry and sold it on? Weren't you like hustling it on the streets?
Yeah. Well, I was in the 9th grade. And so in the eighth grade, my best friend Bianca, her sister used to travel with the dead. Her sister was a little older, and she came back at one point, with some jewelry she was making, and she gave me something in the 8th grade. And when I moved to Florida in the 9th grade, 1990, started skateboarding, started making jewelry. I took that piece of jewelry apart, and I made something else with it, and I brought it to school, and the girl behind me was like, "That's really pretty. Would you make me something like that?" It was my friend's birthday. So I made her something. I sold it for $13. I remember the exact moment. Sold it for $13, and then when I brought it back to her the next day, somebody else liked it, and somebody else liked it. So then basically I started taking orders in class. I would go to school, all my classes. Then I started making pieces at home to sell. Anything that was in fashion was like cross colors, mushrooms with like purple rings on them, glow in the dark, rave style.
I still wear my Sculpey clay mushroom necklaces.
It was 1990. Yeah, right. It's like and I would do like Velcro chokers and all this kind of stuff. So I would bring stuff to school and I would pass it around in a little crystal light plastic thing. I called it Jenna-ware. It was Jenna-ware is fun to wear.
Oh, Jenna-ware is fun to write that down. I'm going to put this on your new website when we change tying tribes to Jenna-ware. It's fun to wear.
No, you can't. I'll tell you the funny story. So it was Jenna-ware for years, probably, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years or something.
Dare to wear.
And then it was Jenna-ware WW. Even back then, I predicted. I didn't even predict. It was a Jenna-ware Worldwide, WW. Everything. It wasn't TM, like trademark. It was Jenna-ware WW.
That's what we are.
So
we're Tom and Dan Worldwide. We are.
Worldwide.
My pitbull.
And I started selling at school. So it was my motivation of selling jewelry because I wanted money to get me gas money to give to my friends to get me to the skate park so that I could skate Stonehenge because I started skateboarding in the 9th grade as well, in 1990. So I needed money to get to the skate park. I saw that people were liking this jewelry that I made. I started selling jewelry. I started taking orders. I would basically make enough money in school, to get me gas money to pay my friends so that I could skate, come back home from skateboarding, make the orders, go back to school. I skipped school my entire, I literally just went to school. The whole 4 years was just to make jewelry, and I'd usually cut out at like noon.
So you were opting into a small child sweatshop, one woman sweatshop, making your own jewelry, skipping school.
No, it was me.
I love it.
I love to this day. I love making my jewelry. I absolutely love it. Well, every single piece I make is different.
Do you have any arthritis problems with your hands at all?
I don't.
Wow.
I don't.
Well,
I don't.
I know people that are listening to this, Jenna. I know some of them are thinking, "Oh, that's cute. You're making your own jewelry. You're selling it for fun, just some gas money." And here's the thing, Jenna. Back 10 years ago,
I remember this.
I remember that because we've known each other for a long time, and I know you sell.
Come to my lake house.
You sold jewelry and stuff, and I remember being like, she's cute. She's like a traveling Grateful Dead hippie that sells jewelry and has her little wares.
She can afford her a bag of Funyuns and an RC Cola.
And then I remember talking to you one time, and I was like proud about my 2002 Mildew Bayliner boat, and I'm like, well, I got this Bayliner boat if you ever want to go. And she's like, oh, if you're ever in my neck of the woods, we can go out on my 2006 brand new Malibu wakeboard boat that's $180,000.
Oh, no, not a Malibu.
Okay.
It was a Team Edition 210, brand new, picked out all the piping, the color, the stereo, DVC. It was a Team Edition 210, correct craft.
Yeah.
Ski Nautique.
Okay. Sorry to offend you. Yeah. Anyway, the boat was worth a wakeboard boat worth more than my house, and then I was like, what?
Yeah, that
I was like, jewelry.
When'd you get rid of your boat, Jenna?
I sold it when I sold my lake house a couple years ago. Yeah.
Jenna, this should be.
It was so much fun, but you. Go ahead.
Sorry. I want to talk, Jenna. You know
Jesus,
me.
Man.
This relationship. This relationship's not gonna. That's what you're gonna get a taste.
Imagine us together.
Yeah. The fatter pig is slapping the smaller pig around and being mean to her.
I want to tell Jenna's life story.
Why?
Because
you just want to be with her because you're impressed with what she's accomplished. You just want to show her off.
Her business. I mean, everything's
not your little
so much better.
skateboarding trophy wife.
You haven't even got into her new project.
I know.
You just want to go back to the past.
Yeah, this whole phone call was supposed to be about her children's book. Yet you want to talk about her jewelry, where she's been.
Talk about when she was an underage teen.
Yeah, how you guys can be pigs together.
I just want to motivate.
It's all intertwined.
Yeah, I know.
It's all intertwined. My profits that I've made from my jewelry. This is my thing. Is I do very well. I do. I'm very thankful and happy that people love what I make enough that they let me, when I travel the world, I pick out pendants and markets and bazaars, and I make these amazing, intricate pieces with some, piece that I collected in Cappadocia in Turkey. It's Turkish turquoise, the Persians came through. Like, there's a story about everything that all these, it's my travel intertwined with my jewelry and the profits, I just always wanted to, I've never felt like I needed so much money because, maybe I've done well. But I still, I'm in my camper and I'm, peeing in a bush and I've eaten food by more dumpsters and garbage cans with stray cats and dogs on dirt streets in Timbuktu than, you know what I mean?
Of course.
Tom's getting real horny. You need to just stop, please.
You're eaten by a bush in Timbuktu?
That's what he said.
That's his kink.
Yeah, Tom's putting his Tutankhamun costume on.
And the only reason I say all this, Jen, is not because, here's the thing, everybody knows you spent your money on good, you travel the world, you're helping people.
So what's the moral, Tom?
No, the moral is that look what she has done in her life, and look what hard ass work and the grind and what you could accomplish literally she did it with her own two hands and then built this jewelry company from the ground up and then
Jennaware, WW.
And so it's like there's no excuse to not be as successful or as happy or it's just
but
literally
she was born like this.
Yeah, I know that's the problem. Like if you don't got that,
it's motivation. it's motivation. You know, I was motivated when I was younger, 9th grade. I was motivated because I didn't have a way to get to the skate park, you know, and I didn't have a car. I was too young, whatever. It was a little far, you know, from Stonehenge, and I just wanted gas money so that I could, you know, whatever. So it was a way to get me to skate, and it still is. I'm making my jewelry, I make money, and I fly around the world or wherever I'm going, you know, normally in any normal circumstances.
And you're still going to the skate park. Yeah,
well,
you're just going to the skate park.
Everybody needs gas money, but it's how you're willing to earn it.
And now I'm helping build them.
Yeah. No, of course.
Yeah. Now I could give back and help build these skate parks.
Let's talk a little bit about that. Let's talk about this book. You wrote a kid's book. You worked with our good friend Squarepeg Jones. And tell us a little bit about your book and how ourselves and the listeners can participate and maybe snatch one of these books up.
Amazing. So this was an idea that I had actually when I went to the Maldives. It was 2 years ago in April.
Yeah.
We built a skate park there. We were there for months, built a park, and I, you know, of course, brought boards with my nonprofit Donate for Skate, and I went to an island away from where we built the park and taught kids how to skate on this little, like, you know, it's just amazing. But I had this idea there was about a book because I saw a book in a store there in Male where we were building the skateboard park. I wanted to get a little gift for this girl that didn't skate, and I had a little bit of extra Maldivian money, whatever it was called, I forget. But and I saw a bookstore, a kid's store, and I found this cute book about, it was called The Dork Diaries. And apparently it's very popular. I brought it back on the plane, and everybody on the plane, all the kids were like, I love that story. It's like The Dork Diaries. It's like a thing. And it was this cute story about, well, I had gotten two, of course, so I gave one to the girl. But so I brought it home because it was really cool that it was just a kid's book, inspiring. It talked about skating, but it was roller skating or whatever. And I don't know, it just inspired me that I thought it would be a cool idea because I love writing. You know, I really have always loved writing. I'm not a big reader, but I do love writing, and I write much better than I speak. I speak like I just spew things out. You know, I have no idea what I'm saying right now.
What are you da-da-da about?
Tom's saying that he writes better than he speaks.
No. I'm the opposite.
That's debatable.
I'm the opposite. See, that's why we're yin and yang. They fit so well together. I'm the talker, not the writer. Jenna's the writer,
not the talker.
Yeah.
So wait, in your relationship, you're the communicative pig. That's gonna be tough.
Scribble Scrabble, you and your Scribble Scrabble.
Oh, look at her, shots fired. So what's your book about?
Okay, so I have this idea for this book, and basically it's in a nutshell, it's about a young girl. Her name is Conchita. She lives in a jungle. This book is basically something that it's for any kid around the world. If they live in India to Nicaragua to Africa to the States, you know, there's little bits and parts that connect with different cultures. But it's basically a little girl who lives in a jungle, and she's very adventurous. She's a little 11-year-old girl, and she likes to follow the boys in her village, you know, when they go get the water each day. She likes to follow and take a little separate trail, and basically she overhears the elders in her village talking about how the neighboring village, that their water well is running dry.
Oh, no.
You know, the rains haven't come, and, you know, but their well is safe. You know, they have a spring well, you know. So she puts two and two together basically because she goes to the well every day with her, you know, brother and the boys in the village, and she's noticed that their well leaks. So she does something about it. She has a great idea how to help, and she uses her efforts, and she collects this dripping water, and she brings it. It's basically the story of not about skateboarding, not about anything, just helping your neighbor. If you can see something that you have extra of and that you know that somebody is in need of, if you put two and two together, it's not that you need to spend money or do anything financial. It's just all about your effort and your hard work, and doing things like that helps motivate others because they're impressed. This little little 11-year-old girl is collecting water and trekking it through the forest, and she's meeting a new monkey friend, and she's super excited to be on a new adventure and to meet new people, and it's great.
Now I'm gonna wait till I'm gonna wait till Tom gets back in here so you can tell that again.
No.
As soon as you started, he walked out and
I'm gonna help you.
He didn't care anything. No, I'm kidding. He heard the whole thing. It sounds great. I love the idea, Jenna. That's really good.
And Jenna, then there's the sequel that we could write, and I could team up with you to help you, because the sequel, then the corporations start coming because they
Coca-Cola presents.
They realize that there's gold under this village, and they want the gold, but the village is the sacred burial ground.
Okay.
So then the corporation comes, and there's a general. He's in a robot suit.
Mr. General.
The robot suit comes, and then all the villagers are like, "We'll fight them off with our bows and arrows." But they have no chance because they have the giant corporations have all this technology.
But if we
and
put our mind
guns
together and we use some MacGyver traps, we can stop these guys.
Then they have tails, and then the whole thing. There's a scene where they interlock their tails, and you're like, "What is? I know what that is." And then, they bury them.
And then Sigourney Weaver smokes a lot of cigarettes.
It's a whole thing. I got that, and then we sell it. We sell the whole idea.
Yeah. And then 20 years later,
rights.
we come out with a third version, and you're like, "We're bored."
And you can make a lot of money from this. So.
Oh
Jenna.
my God. Well, the profits, you guys. So the idea that I wrote this book, the first version, this version, is a color book, full color. The back even has a worksheet. It's so the kids can actually write down their ideas, what they can gather. Hello, my name is, and so the idea of this book is that I'm selling these books. They're $20 each, but everything after when the profits start. What I want to do with that money is put it towards the second version, which is a coloring book version of this.
Nice.
Swervy hopped on board and is the most amazing illustration. I mean, it's Swervy Jones. So.
Of course.
Does he need an introduction?
Yeah, he's been doing our cartoons
He hopped
forever.
on board right away.
That's awesome.
He is just amazing, patient. He hopped right on board right away. He's like, yes, I want to be a part of this. What can I do? And we designed the illustrations for him to bring Conchita to life. This book would be nothing, not the same without his work. It's just beautiful. And these cartoon drawings, though, that he does, his style is perfect for when I'm done, start making the profit, then I can put it towards this book being printed as coloring books. And the point of it is so that when I'm able to start traveling again with Donate for Skate, bringing boards to developing countries and helping to build skate parks, as I've been doing in places like Nepal and Ethiopia and Tanzania, South Africa, Morocco, Georgia, all these places.
Yeah.
What I want to do is bring these coloring books, and it's a way that my idea is that we'll have a day that I'll say all to the village or the kids or in the area and their parents and their siblings, say, if anybody wants to come on this certain day, we're going to have a reading where we'll all sit. Nothing to do with skateboarding, just a way to show that maybe I'm in the community helping and kind of what are you doing here. But it's a way to sort of lend out a hand and show that it's not just about skateboarding and it's just a book for kids about helping others. Maybe they'll put two and two together, but it doesn't matter. It's just a fun, and I'll bring coloring pencils with it. So they'll be able to read little paragraphs in English, practice English, and then we'll have a fun coloring session, and they'll get to keep the books.
Jenna.
So it's a way to have all the little extra kids that kind of linger and lurk around when we're building parks or
so nobody feels left out.
Bring boards.
Jenna.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
I completely get it. I think it's wonderful
Jenna.
because a lot of what you're doing.
It's just a not for profit book.
Well, the skateboarding and getting in there and building the skate park and teaching the kids. I mean, that's really just one part of it. But just getting in there and just making a difference for that village or that community, that's the real thing.
Jenna, have you ever had a business manager?
Oh, God.
I am it.
That looks like a pig.
No, because here's what I'm sensing.
This isn't a business to her, Tom. This is her heart. This is her life.
Every once in a while, there's these people that live amongst us.
Why did you write OnlyFans down?
And they no. And they have this unbelievable motor, this ambition that never dies.
Yeah.
It's like it's vastly more than the normal person, whatever. It's a crazy motor, and it just keeps going, and and Jenna's got that, right?
Right.
And then
you want to exploit it.
And how dare you? I want to help Jenna explore the possibilities, because here's what I'm hearing here. If you remember the lawyer that got a hold of
is your butt from the back.
no, it's nothing to do with sexual. You remember that lawyer that got a hold of Richard Marcato?
Richard Marcato.
What's that?
Is
it Marcato?
Mucho more.
Yeah.
Marcato.
Walter Marcato.
I don't know what this is.
All right. Anyway,
he's like a Spanish numerologist.
That guy had the personality and the spirit and the work ethic, and all he needed is a greedy lawyer to
that ruined his life,
to take that and push it to the right direction, and he made hundreds of millions.
Yeah. But then he lost it.
Then he ended up dying a sad old man with a
the guy sued for everything he had.
Nothing's worse than dying a dead old pile of bones under a stack of capes, mildew capes.
That lawyer was obviously an evil person. I am not. I am out to help Jenna make the most amount of money possible, and I feel
for the charity or for you.
No, for the charity. She gets a portion and a whole to do whatever she wants.
No, if it's for charity, it goes all to charity.
No, I know, but she can do whatever she wants with her money.
What are you going to do with yours?
So you're going to take a piece off the top.
Well, no, I'm a manager. A business manager gets 10% of everything that Jenna earns.
Yeah, well,
but
here's the problem. She's already successful on her own.
Yeah,
but she doesn't need you.
But here's the thing: if I can get her into the corporate,
if you can get her into one corporate, you
can
get her into two corporate.
All I need to do is bottle this and make it.
And get her in Barnes and Noble.
No, and get her to we go around to all these conventions, and you're at the insurance convention, and then there's a bunch of the salespeople, the sales force, and they pay Jenna $30,000 to come and give her motivational speech to the salespeople who don't even care about
it. She's not a motivational speaker.
Yeah, but she can be because
I have.
Right.
In Madagascar. Madagascar, I was invited to Antananarivo to do a motivational speech, and I did in front of these kids at the only English accredited speaking school in Madagascar. It was amazing.
Well,
I did it on
passion. I think Tom's English is so bad he went to the only English accredited school in Madagascar.
Here's the thing. The English school in Madagascar doesn't have $20,000 to pay you, but the insurance convention does, and every other convention, and then we hop from every weekend.
Because when I look at Jenna Hirt, she looks like she wants to be riding high on an insurance convention.
And then
I'm not really sure.
We're hitting
the business plan here.
We're hitting the convention circuit, and then at the end of the convention, what you do is then you sell your wares to all the people. Then you start getting them into the mailing lists, and you start going. And then
eventually, it's just an OnlyFans.
And then you're not even making the jewelry anymore. There's an army of poor people.
Like she puts her time and energy into her handmade jewelry.
No. But then we get the army of poor people that you do it cheap, and then we're selling. Jenna's a millionaire, and then the light burns out in her eyes. And then you get broken like a stallion that they train and they put a saddle on, and then they have them walking, doing the tours, and you got some big fat British Taurus on your back.
Nothing says I give up more than a straw hat on a donkey, right? Because they're just walking and they hate their life.
Jump the shark after that, and then everything's fine.
It's
sign like a pig.
That's what they do that to people. Like that's what happens to people.
Exactly what happened.
I think that's what happened to Walter Mercado.
Oh, it's exactly what happened.
Like he
just wanted to do it.
He was positive, and then you get some greedy. Some greedy POS gets a hold of him and then markets them. It's all about the money, and he just wants to help people, and then they steal all his money. Yeah. It's so
Jenna,
sad.
What do you? Where can our listeners find your book?
Okay, so definitely, you can look at my Facebook page, Jenna Hirt. It's a shareable link that I did. I posted about Conchita.
Hirt.
Anybody, Jenna Hirt. So Conchita, the book, like I said, it's a $20 for each book. That includes shipping if you want to, 40, like that.
Gotcha.
And you could, if you'd like, you could just PayPal it to donateforskate@gmail.com. All letters, DONATEFOR, skate. Donateforskate@gmail.com. Put in the message, for Conchita. Your address will be in there as well. If you want me to sign it over to any kids, sign it to anybody, you can put that in the notes. So, 1, you can send PayPal, Donate for Skate. 2, you can Zelle it to me if you'd like. Should I give my phone number?
I mean, you put it on your social media, so it's out there.
I mean, if you want to, you
fine.
can.
Our guys are cool. Barely anyone listens anyway.
It's my jewelry number also, so it's out there. So you could Zelle it to 352-219-8039.
Okay.
You also, I'm sure on the BDM page will be posted. Also, I just want to say that Mark Larrabelle and Katie Hinton, this book was printed. This is a triple Lindy BDM production here.
Yeah.
Vintage Paper Company printed these books. Like they are spectacular. I can't even tell you what an amazing job Mark Larrabelle.
It's totally an inside job. You got Swervy and Larrabelle
and above and beyond.
Yeah,
totally. It's the most beautiful. Mark helped. He helped the back worksheet page. I mean, it's. I couldn't have asked for a better team. Everybody has heart in it. It's just amazing.
Jenna,
yeah.
I want to buy this book for my sons, but how's the reading level in it? As far as I didn't fare well with
simple.
a Potter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is
the word Conchita?
It is simple.
Conchita.
Conchita written because I'm not going to be able to get through that one.
I'm going to go ahead and defer to. This past January 2020 was the last spot before COVID that I was able to travel to. Tanzania in Arusha. I went to an all-girl orphanage that we volunteered and built a skateboard park for. Of course, I brought boards with my Donate for Skate, brought them all brand new boards, everything brand new, and built the park, taught them how to skate. We all set up the boards together, and because I wasn't totally finished with the Conchita books at that time, but it was the perfect opportunity to see how it would go over with kids of all ages, because these girls at the orphanage are anywhere from 3 to 13.
Right.
And I printed these books for like $100 at Staples, coloring book version, basically black and white of these.
Yeah.
And I brought them, and we had a day where all of us gathered around and did it. We read through different girls, different age groups, read different sentences in English, practiced their English, and then we did coloring for days. We would go back and do some more coloring and more reading, and they loved it.
That's
they
awesome.
did so well. It was amazing. The words, they could say adventurous. There were so many words in there that I was so surprised.
I kind of feel like Tom needs to
you haven't sold me on this as easy yet.
I kind of feel like Tom needs to be next to you in the jungle, and he's coloring, and he's like, and you're like teaching him how to read the book.
Because I even feel like even orphans in a different country learning a second language could read better than I can.
Yeah.
English as their second language.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, they were incredibly smart. You should have seen them sweeping, doing chores. They're 3 years old. They're folding clothes. They're amazing. But listen, it's a book that you could read with your kids at night as well. That was also the thought, is that you could read it. Crystal could read it to the boys. A couple pages a night, and then at the end you have the worksheet.
Well, you can bring the worksheet in, or just put the blanket over you and be the monster.
Yeah. I'm more cut out to be the monster.
You're more of a...
I'm the guy that plays around with them.
Steals their feet, turns them into fudge, or whatever you do.
The reading and the parenting and all that. I mean, I was going to say keeping them protected, but I'm actually making it worse for them.
You're just the fun guy who wears booty shorts.
I probably make their lives more dangerous just being around. All right, Jenna, we're running out of time, so it's been great to talk to you.
Yeah, for sure. So amazing. I wish I could have seen you guys in person, hopefully next time.
Well, it'll happen. It'll happen at some point.
Yeah.
But we love you. Good luck with the book. We'll keep
love you guys.
Pounding it for you, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Love you guys.
See ya. Love you too. Bye. It's like her puppy in the background, I think.
Mm-hmm. It's Jenna's one of those people that gotta go. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I'm Dan.
So I was just talking to everybody in our Twitch stream. You can go to twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live.
There it is. And then we replay all of those on YouTube. Tom and Dan Live, just search.
So basically we re-record, and it's on Twitch every day that we record, which is obviously the different time than you'll get the podcast or it goes out on terrestrial radio or whatever. So,
normally, if you were trying to catch this live stream, we start, I'd say, almost every Monday through Friday around 10:30.
Yeah.
On Monday or 11.
Yeah, except for
Mondays
Fridays.
We go late. Yeah.
Fridays we usually start around noon, and then also Mondays, like you said, it's usually a little later.
But in the middle of the day, we go out on Twitch. But the majority of people talking on Twitch right now, they said they were working. And then I'm curious to what exactly does that entail as far as you're working from home. I understand that, like, Crystal, when she works, she'll have to, either show a house or list a house. And then a lot of it's just going on the MLS and then listing it all. So
filling things out.
Emails back and forth or whatever.
A lot of organizational stuff.
So nowadays, when a lot of people are working from home, I wonder what that is for most people throughout a typical day. Is it a lot of just waiting to answer emails? So it's like little short bursts of work? I mean, it's not
going to be different
grueling...
for most.
Of course, yeah.
But I think most people are in the chat room's boat. I think most people are like, you work from home, maybe a Zoom call, maybe two.
Yeah.
Some emails. You might have a couple of reports you need to submit. Maybe, like for my wife, I can speak for her. She has double screens, but she has one that has a entire guidebook that she's working on, and then the other that she uses for Zoom calls, and she typically has 2 to 3 a day.
Okay.
So it's meetings, and then she's got some stuff she's working on graphics, and then basically web organization, making designing the site and making it look aesthetically pleasing.
Why don't you ask Butler what he's doing while we're
well, that's what I'm assuming. It says just most people are just effing off and doing nothing, right? That's what it is.
Is that what you're saying Butler's doing right now?
Yeah, that's where this was all going.
Have you peeked around the corner?
I would be doing it. I would be doing it if I was him.
Peek around the corner and you see his desk there with the cobwebs on it? Or
tell him anything to do. I guess that you have to have things to do first. But it's what I'm curious about is okay, if you are work from home data entry or something like that, then it's all right, these 100 pages have to be transcribed and uploaded every day, so it's you can't F around. It's you gotta
some data entry jobs you can.
I like the ones where they don't give you a quota. It's not you got to get 100 done by the end of the day. It's just work as hard as you can, or as light as you can. It's gonna always be coming in, so it's a never ending.
Yeah, I think most companies probably have quotas, and it's because obviously you want to become more and more efficient.
Sure.
You don't want your employees effing off and doing nothing, but I feel like the most
tactical hat says, I'm just here playing checkers with Butler.
yeah. Most people just effing off at work. I think that's the standard.
One guy says, 100% there are days where I wiggle my mouse with my foot so I don't go idle while playing video games.
Yeah. So I think that's probably more than the person that's actually nonstop hours of work.
Although my wife has more work to do now than she did when she was going to the office.
Yeah.
I guess, every job is different.
It seems like there's more to do, and even she would say, because I asked her, I'm like, I asked her about it. I'm like, is it more now? And she's like, yeah, because it's almost like if you work in the, with us, is it more here, you think, than it was before COVID with what we do?
No, it's less. Because of
See, to me, it seems the same. It just seems like our priority shifted. It's we don't have to do any planning for events.
And we also don't have to depend so much on guests coming here, which helps us stay on task and on schedule better. So
we don't
that
have to
helps.
wait on people. And
then people hang out and want to just chit chat instead of like, hey, we got to start recording another segment. You know?
But we just filled the time of like planning events and things like that we normally doing, and we filled it with other things.
Right.
But that's because I'm insane and I can't just chill out. But I'm fascinated with the generic corporate. I know it's all different, but it's just like that cubicle job. It's like the people in the office and the TV show. It's like that kind of, you work for insurance, paper, whatever.
I think for a lot of those people, it might have gotten easier.
Yeah, well, because now you take off the driving to work and all the stuff, and then like all the little things you did at work.
Well, the distractions. Meetings. There's a lot of distractions there. Like, no offense to you guys, and you know this because like if he has something, you're probably the same way, Sam. If you guys have something you need to get done, like being able to work in this studio with none of us around is going to be optimal.
Yeah.
You know, like when I know I have a song or a video I really want to dial down on without distractions, I come here alone. Same with you when you're working on like a marketing idea, you have something you're working on. Like if you can get here alone and eliminate all distractions, I think it's a lot easier.
Anyway, I just the amount of physical work being done. I know it's a damn cliche and it's an Office Space joke. It's like I only do 12 minutes of actual work. But man, I just think that is the case for most jobs.
I wonder sometimes if it's what jobs are going to be completely and utterly obliterated and eliminated.
Well, anything that's easy, if you push something or pull something or just lift something, but like all those, the robots will take those quick, and they're taking them right now. It's like if your job is to push something, you're in trouble. A robot is going to do that. Or if your job is to stand there or hold a sign, all robots are going to take that. So then it's going to go from there. But the problem is, I think those cubicle jobs, they need humans to do a certain element of them. They can't be taken by, because there's subjectivity and all. Like you're dealing with some sort of accounts, and they're all a little bit different. And like it involves human interaction.
Yeah.
So that's going to be harder, I think, to be totally eradicated. But I will say that these giant corporations might realize, like, well, wait, why am I paying so many people to do 10 minutes of actual work a day?
Right.
But they may be too big to ever find it, because you could hide in those giant mega corporations and never be seen.
Oh, that's the best part.
You fly.
I mean, that is one of the benefits of working for a mega corporation.
Or government. You just fly under the radar. You get a job that
you just kind of tuck in,
and you tuck in, and you just just fall into the routine of effing off.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's try this.
Gotta go.
Oh, we do? Oh my God! I thought we were doing 11 minutes for the other one. No.
Thought we were doing Monday 7.
Oh.
I think Monday was 11, right?
It was 11.
I wrote down 7. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, it's 11.
All right, one more.
Yeah. Sorry.
Hey guys, Bubble Bath Billy here. I was wondering if any of you guys have any weird, like, personal idiosyncrasies or OCD tendencies that you do, that sometimes you wonder if you're the only weirdo in the world that does it. So I'll give you for instance, I've been doing this thing for years where anytime I pee, I guess usually only at home, but if I'm peeing, standing up, peeing in the toilet, I basically try to achieve the most optimal flush possible. And so what I mean by that is I will start the flush while I'm still peeing.
Yes, I do this.
But try to time it so that the transition basically between the dirty water swirling and going down the pipe and where the clean water starts coming in is the exact time that I finish peeing.
Oh, a guy in the chat room does it too.
So basically, I consider it the most perfect flush possible. I have no idea why I started this weird thing. I've been doing it for years and years, and don't really know why. The thing is, I lived in my old house for like 5 years, and I had the timing down perfect, right? I would pee, and I would flush, and it would finish at the exact perfect time, and I would only have to flush once. But since moving into my new house, the toilets in this new house flush a lot quicker than my old house. So now, like 50% of the time,
get pee back in.
I flush, the toilet finishes its cycle, I'm still peeing, and then I have to finish a second time. And then I feel like an idiot if anybody's over at the house and they hear me flush twice for a pee. So do you guys do anything weird like that?
I do the same thing you're doing, sir. I do the exact, and 3 or 4 people in our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/TomAndDanLive, they said they do the same thing too. So you're going, and then you're close to the end, so you go ahead and you flush, and it's filling up and swirling, and you're still going, and you go, and then you get up, and then it goes down.
It's a little pee-pee game.
Yeah, it's
That's weird.
Well, you guys can't do that. I mean, you could.
It's harder to see.
It's not going to be the same. Plus, you have to reach.
Yeah, but is it about seeing when?
Yeah, it's all about.
It's all about the feel, right? You know when you're almost done peeing.
Yeah, but you have to plan it out so it takes all of it. And
you also got to go right on the edge of the bevel so you get maximum bubbles.
That's and
you're
by the
frothy. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't believe there's anything unique that any human being does to only them. It's like we think inherently that we're one of a kind and we're not like anybody else, but everybody's like someone. It's like there's not. I'm not saying exactly. I mean, yes, you are as a human different than any other human. No one's exactly the same, but all these it's like thinking you invented something. You Google search it.
Right.
It's
already been invented.
Everybody's already thought of everything. Your little OCD thing that you do, the chances are there's someone else in the world that has done it, or at least who
Fight Club. You are not that's
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
that is right.
Am I talking too much today?
No, I think you're being fine. Why?
I don't know. It seems like
I thought I was talking too much.
No. I just no. You guys
no,
cool?
I think you're great.
A weird feeling from both of you.
No. Ah! Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
Tom.
Samantha, our producer, is here, and let's jump into some emails.
Hey, T&D crew. After listening for many years, and especially after listening to all the Friday Free Show and BDM shows about Tom planning his recent Colorado trip, I've come to realize that Tom is the Clark Griswold of Orlando. His delusions of grandeur of his greatness in the eyes of his sons leads him to plan trips and events that play out in the 80s Fast Dad dream sequence in his head. I'm wondering when we're going to finally hear the story of the hot blonde in a Ferrari flirting with him as he disregards his family's safety. Not to mention...
wait, that was the lady in the... that was the sweetie in the
raft.
Yeah, raft. Yeah, the raft.
Not to mention having visual documentation of his wife in the shower a la European vacation and how he goes outside to do yard work and occupies time away from his family like the lights in Christmas Vacation. Has anyone ever noticed this or drawn the comparison of Tom to Clark Griswold?
I mean, there are some classics that he does, like the going outside to avoid the family to listen to his gambling podcast. That's a classic.
Right.
That's how Fred Flintstone went to the bowling alley with the Loyal Order of the Water Buffaloes to avoid Wilma and Betty. You
do a tremendous amount of work that in your head you convince yourself you're doing it for your family, but your family doesn't even care.
Yeah.
They'd rather just spend time with you inside, but you're on the roof putting all the lights on and
doesn't
doing
need to be done.
You're out there all day instead.
They'd rather just sit with you by the fire.
Yeah. They don't. And then, but in your mind, you're like, they'll appreciate this so much. They all come out. They're cold. They're like, oh, and then you. And
why do we do that?
Does it work?
Why do we do that as fathers? Why do we?
It's fantasy. It's your fantasy.
Yeah, but why? Why can't I just go and just? Hey, I know it. Because even the most simple things to me end up having to be grandiose. Like with May, if we're going to, she has a day off, I usually have to plan an adventure, or I have to take her to her favorite restaurant, or why can't I just? We took a walk down our street.
Yeah.
She'd probably like that more.
I think you guys are trying to be good dads, and you're trying to be fun.
Yeah, but why can't I? I'm pretty fun just as I am, right?
You're putting your own
don't answer that
idea of what the
what
grand
you think
adventure,
your kid wants.
Yeah. It's like they didn't the expensive
parents did not do this back in the day. By the way.
No. What the kid wanted,
they didn't care.
No.
that was ridiculous. They just took their kid around
whatever they wanted to do.
Yeah. That's how it was in the 80s. It's like, all right, well, my kid's gonna do whatever.
Or just let him run wild in the neighborhood, right?
That's what I did.
Yeah.
It's like, so you go to the steak and ale bar, and then your kid just plays in the Pac-Man machine because you're like, oh, well, I gotta get drunk, and they can just play in the Pac-Man.
Well, you say that because back then it wasn't all about the kid.
It didn't
Absolutely
matter.
not. No.
No, it was about you.
Yeah. And there was nothing about that. Like, who cares what the
It's
kid
like an
wants?
oxygen.
I own the
Yeah.
kid. It just does whatever I do. It's
That's
like
right.
an animal. You go
Yes.
there and your dog just follows you, and there's like, it could
And
go
if it
there.
doesn't follow you, it gets run over by a car.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
But now it's like, all about them, all
Yeah.
about trying to make this fantasy life. And here's the thing. We're like, they're going to have the best, and like they're never going to have any sort of trauma, or they're not going to have the life that I had. But it's just going to be in a different thing. So it's like, my kids are going to be talking to their therapist about
their mom pranking them all the time.
or about like just something like, dad was looking at his phone too much, so he was constantly distracted, and that'll be their trauma. It'll be less than the extreme horrible atrocities that a lot of people
you're right.
But it'll be in their world, just that'll be that.
Yeah, but also this, like for me, with May, it's like in the phone thing, like she's pretty adamant about, and I don't know if she gets this from her teachers, but she'll just straight up tell me. She'll be like, "Get off your phone." Or you shouldn't be on your phone, Daddy.
I was going to say, dude, if I was a 5-year-old kid and I told my dad to get off his phone.
No, not like that. You know what I mean? It's like when we're supposed to be playing with each other. Like if she's like, "Hey, come play dolls with me," and I come over, she'll be like, "Why are you on your phone? Get off your phone, Dad." Like that sort of stuff. I mean, it'll sour you real quick. When you only have to hear it a couple times before you're like, "Oh, that's not good." That's not good. But I can remember my parents, not that they didn't care. But, it's kind of like an oxygen mask in a plane. You got to put yours on before you can put your kids on, right? So my parents would plan things, and they didn't plan things for me. And the separate dinner thing, I know a lot of parents do. There's no separate dinner.
What's
it's like,
that?
this is the dinner. Right, exactly. Like some parents, it's like a thing where they'll make their dinner, and then you got to make a separate dinner for like your kid.
I want to do that. Yeah, I like to enable their eating mac and cheese and hot dogs.
Yeah, and
I'm
I'm
like
just
making
not.
that every night. They love it. It's
But I think a lot of parents, because it does look like the lesser. You're like, it's just easier to do that than to have the fight.
It all comes down to you do whatever. But now
Path of least resistance.
But now you're guilt. Oh, gotta go.